Okay, think about this for a second. When you face a problem, any problem, what's your first move? Do you go for the quick fix, the Band-Aid solution?
Or do you try and really dig deep to get to the actual root of the issue?
Exactly. That difference, addressing the symptom versus the real cause, that's what we're really diving into today. And we're going to look at this challenge in an industry where the stakes are incredibly high. We're talking pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, really critical stuff.
Our guide for this is a really interesting article by Palash. It's called Other Sid and Other Carton Attitude, and it's from Pharmaceutical Resource and Education Services.
It's quite insightful, yeah.
It really looks at these common ways of operating in the pharma world.
So our mission really is to unpack these terms. What does Darrow, this sort of quick fix, maybe improvised solution, actually mean here?
And the other one, Elliott connection.
Right. Elliott, what it'll do, or good enough kind of attitude. We want to see why they pop up so much in pharma operations, according to the source.
And crucially, what does a real, effective, permanent solution look like? Why does it get missed sometimes?
Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's start with what the article describes as the day-to-day reality. It suggests the main focus isn't always, making medicine, which is surprising, right?
It really is a striking point. The article puts it, let me quote this directly. Rather than manufacturing medicine, we are focusing on the failure investigations, root cause identification, CAPA.
CAPA, that's corrective action, preventive action.
Exactly. Implementation and effectiveness verification. So the source is highlighting this reactive cycle as the main thing people get bogged down in.
Dealing with problems after they happen.
Constantly investigating failures, instead of preventing them up front.
And the article is specific about when these issues tend to blow up.
It is.
It says maximum problems observed during tech transfer from R&D to commercial manufacturing.
Ah, that critical handover point.
Yeah, moving from the lab bench to large-scale production, it seems like a real bottleneck.
Makes sense. That's where complexities multiply. And the article says the failures often stem from higher variability in utility, machinery, and area maintenance, operation, and control.
So, inconsistencies.
Exactly. Inconsistent water quality, maybe machines aren't perfectly calibrated every time, clean room procedures vary slightly.
Little things that add up.
That kind of environment, that variability, it just creates openings for things to go wrong.
Yeah.
And that's where the quick fixes start to look appealing.
Right. Okay, so this is where, as the article says, we start taking support of quick fix solutions.
The Jugod moment.
Yeah. And that often goes along with the big odd attitude, the it'll do approach.
You seem connected.
Totally. And to really make this clear, the article uses this fantastic analogy. It's brilliant.
The bathroom floor one.
Yes. It says, okay, imagine the problem is you have fallen down in bathroom due to slippery floor. Simple, relatable.
Okay, I'm picturing it. Ouch.
And then it walks us through how a pharma professional might typically approach the corrective action, preventive action, the CAPA, for this.
And this is where you really see the Jugod mindset in action, right? The article lists out these typical responses.
Hit us with them.
Okay, so first response might be, human error person does not know how to move in bathroom.
Blame the person.
Exactly. So the fix, blame on training adequacy. Just retrain the person. Don't fix the floor, fix the walker.
Classic. What's next?
Then maybe propose extensive cleaning of bathroom. Okay, seems logical, but the underlying blame shifts to inadequate cleaning process and practices.
Still not the floor itself.
Nope. Or how about change of detergent of bathroom cleaning? Now it's blame on the external supplier and material use.
Passing the buck again.
Pretty much. Then you get things like increased frequency of cleaning.
Just clean it more often.
Yeah, which gets blamed on an inadequate maintenance program. Or even training how to move in slow motion in bathroom.
Seriously. Slow motion walking training.
That's what it says. And that's labeled inadequate process control. You're controlling the person, not the hazard.
This is getting absurd. But I can see how it happens layer by layer.
Oh, it gets better. How about putting up a visible board mentioned wet floor, move slowly, and mention ambulance number in case of emergency?
Wow. That sounds like just covering yourself.
The article calls it additional control to make process more complex and to satisfy auditors. It's about appearance, not the root cause.
Okay, any more?
A few more. Increase the lighting for better visibility. That involves additional budget investment and increase annual maintenance costs.
Adding cost and complexity.
Or install telephone to take help from neighbor. That's seen as involves of external consultant to fixed internal problem.
Bringing in outside help for a slippery floor.
And the final one mentioned is quite something. One person will stand outside of bathroom to support in case of emergency.
You're kidding? Hire someone to stand outside the bathroom.
It becomes a proposal of increase of manpower to management.
Okay, so the point the article is making is crystal clear. None of these Jugad solutions actually fix the slippery floor.
Not at all. They just add layers. Complexity, cost, manpower, blame shifting. They dance around the fundamental issue.
They might stop that specific incident from happening again in that exact way, maybe, but the floor is still slippery. The core risk remains.
Exactly. They are temporary patches, workarounds, not permanent fixes.
So this is the crucial pivot point in the article, right? Moving from all those quick fixes to, well, what should have been done.
Yes, the contrast is stark. The article states the actual permanent solution is, quite simply, a change in bathroom floor tiles with rough surface new tiles.
Obvious when you think about it.
Kind of, yeah. But the really critical point the source makes is that this shouldn't even be a reaction. It says, in fact, design and installation of bathrooms should to be with rough surface tiles only as part of risk-based approach.
So it should have been designed that way from the start. Build safety in.
Precisely. Proactive design based on anticipating the risk of slipperiness.
Okay, so why? Why is this seemingly obvious permanent fix so often ignored? Not just in bathrooms, but in these bigger industrial contexts.
Well, this is where the other concept comes in strongly. The article says, but here the attitude, which comes that is starin.
The it'll-do mentality.
Exactly. That takes over. And it's often linked, the article suggests, to a fear of the short-term consequences of doing the right thing.
What do you mean?
Because, as the source notes, to fix the actual problem, productivity can be temporary decrease, but in future, same problem will not be happened.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So replacing the tiles means shutting down the bathroom for a bit. It means upfront cost, maybe a pause in whatever relies on that bathroom.
Right. There's a perceived immediate hit, a slowdown, an expense. And that short-term pain often seems bigger than the long-term benefit of never having that slippery floor problem again.
That really is the heart of it, isn't it? The aha moment. True foundational solutions might need that temporary pause, that investment.
A bit of short-term pain for long-term gain.
But putting in that effort up front stops the problem from coming back again and again, which ultimately saves way more time, resources, hassle, maybe even prevents accidents.
It's about foresight, prioritizing robust design over just reacting constantly.
Okay, so let's bring this brilliant bathroom analogy back to the world of pharma. What does it mean there? Why is relying on Jugad or having a Cholta-high attitude so particularly, well, dangerous and inefficient in pharmaceuticals?
Well, the stakes are just so much higher, aren't they? We're not just talking about a bruised hip from a fall.
No.
In pharma, a failure could mean a batch of medicine doesn't work properly, or it has contaminants, or it leads to a huge product recall.
The impact is on patient health, potentially life or death, plus massive financial hits, regulatory trouble, reputational damage.
Exactly. So this brings us back to that risk-based approach the article mentioned regarding the tiles. It's even more critical in pharma.
Integrating it from the very beginning.
Yes, absolutely. Right from the design and development stage. Thinking about risks proactively.
Like how? Give us an example in a pharma context.
Okay, so instead of constantly dealing with batches failing because a raw material varies slightly, you apply a risk-based approach during development. You choose suppliers with tighter controls, maybe design the process to be more tolerant of slight variations, or build in better testing earlier on.
So you design the robustness in, like the WUF tiles.
Exactly. Or designing manufacturing equipment so it's genuinely easy to clean properly, preventing cross-contamination rather than just adding more complex, frequent cleaning steps later as a Jugad fix when problems arise.
Because each Jugad in pharma, each workaround, it just adds another layer of complexity, doesn't it?
It does. More steps, more documentation, more things to potentially go wrong, more variables to control. It makes processes less reliable, harder to validate, more prone to failure, and definitely harder to explain to regulators.
And more expensive in the long run with all the investigations and rework.
Definitely. Constant firefighting is never efficient.
So the core message here from Palash from this source is pretty clear then. Effective problem solving, especially in pharma, isn't just about being good at fixing things when they break.
No, it's about foresight. It's about robust design. It's about a deep commitment to preventing the problems in the first place.
Building that solid foundation rather than just constantly patching the cracks and, hoping for the best.
Precisely. As we often say, knowledge is most valuable when understood and applied, and this really highlights a need to apply knowledge not just reactively, but proactively in the design phase, shifting that mindset.
Wow. That really crystallizes the difference, doesn't it? Between just patching things up and implementing a solution that's truly foundational, truly permanent. We saw it with the bathroom tiles, but you can see how critical that distinction is in pharma.
And likely in many other fields, too.
Absolutely. Which leads to a really good closing thought, I think.
Yeah.
For everyone listening, maybe take a second to think about your own work, or even just your life. Where might you be unconsciously applying a bit of Jugad?
Or settling for Tulta High. It'll do.
Right.
Yeah.
When maybe, just maybe, a more fundamental design-level fix is what's really needed, even if it seems harder up front.
It's a powerful question to ask. What are the hidden costs of those quick fixes?
Definitely something to reflect on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Keep asking those questions, keep exploring, and keep looking for those truly foundational solutions.
See you next time.